All right, ladies and gentlemen, today is January 2nd, 2014, and this is the KNKL Show, episode 145. I'm your host, Kenan Lafferty, and today is Thoughtful Thursday. Wait a minute. It's January 2nd? Is it? Really? Holy crap, what happened yesterday? Oh yeah, whatever Wednesday. Man, the days are already beginning to blend together today. All right, yes, Thoughtful Thursday, where we like to meditate underneath the bonsai tree, and I do have to let you guys know something right off the bat. Today is going to be a very interesting, very interesting show because I am in a very strange mood, not a very happy mood. I was super happy yesterday, and today I am just kind of a little bit down in the dumps. And I think this might be a good time for me to go over a couple topics that we're going to be talking about today. But before we get into that, I do want to make a quick announcement. Many of you guys know we got some new prints made, and these I am calling Pay What You Want. You can pay what you want. You can get this print sent to you by joining us over on patreon.com/Emma. Get this print shipped to your door when we hit 80 bucks. We only got 10 bucks to go. Thank you everyone who has been submitting and pledging your hard-earned cash, all that good stuff to help me continue making this. Patreon.com/Emma. That's all I'm going to say about that. All right, let's go ahead and jump into the talk today. And I kind of want to, I literally had this idea like right before we started. And, you know, whenever I'm in a bad mood, whenever I'm just on one of those days where I just feel like I'm kind of off, it's usually because I have some feelings within me that need to be expressed. So we might want to deem today how to get angry, how to properly express your emotions, how to properly get angry, how to properly be sad, and all that stuff, and why it's very important that you express the feelings that are within you. Okay, so I want you guys to remember the last time you yourself, like something happened to you. You're sitting in traffic and some guy cuts you off, or you get the bill for your dinner and it's like hundreds of dollars more than you expected it to be, and then you realize that you took your date to this like way too expensive French restaurant. You know, just or you're playing a video game and you just get owned, right? You get owned and the guys call you noobs and you just get completely embarrassed in front of all these people, and then you just have this feeling of rage. You're so angry. You just want to punch something. You want to take something and chuck it at the wall. You want to break something. You want to be barbaric. You want to turn into a monster. But society has told us that you are not supposed to do that. You are supposed to take those feelings and you are supposed to be civilized. You take those feelings and you bury them deep within your soul. You bury them, you hide them, you mask them. Do not let those feelings out, because that is childish, because that is not what an adult does. That is not the mature thing to do. Well, I want to come out and say that I think you should get angry. I think you should get sad. I think you should not necessarily break things, but you can actually break things. Many of you saw back when I got a new monitor, right? This monitor wasn't working over here, and I decided to go ahead and go out and get a new one, and because that one was broken, I decided to retire it or graduate it. If you have things that you can break, things that you can destroy, that can be a very nice way to relieve some of your tension. But don't break things that are in perfectly working order. Anyway, okay, so let's talk about expressing emotions and why it's super important to do that. So you want to become the monster, right? Your muscles are bulging, veins are poking out, right? And you're just ready to headbutt a baby goat. You just want to grab a baby goat and just right? Because it'll hurt you more than the baby goat because they're used to that stuff. But it'll still make you feel good. When you take those things and you push them in, when you repress or suppress those emotions, what happens is those don't go away. Those will stay within you, and sooner or later, those are going to be released somehow. Those emotions that you need to express are going to come out eventually. Okay? And the terrible thing about it is that you could be the victim. You could be the victim, and you have been the victim of this. There's tons of people. Everybody does this. They hold their feelings in, and then when you ask them, or you say the wrong thing, or you say the wrong question, or whatever, they will literally snap at you, and they will release that energy onto you, that angry energy onto you. You didn't do anything to necessarily deserve it, right? And you'll be in their shoes sometimes. You'll be the person that snaps out at them, that yells at them, or gets in their face for no reason. I've been this person. And the reason why this is because, again, you cannot suppress these feelings forever. one way or another, they will find their way out. They will find their way out. And usually it ends up being destructive behaviors. It can lead to depression. It can lead to addiction. No matter what it is. It just seems like if you don't express yourself, if you don't express those feelings, bad things happen. Okay, so that's enough of this. I'm over here telling you to get angry. I'm over here telling you to get sad. Feel those feelings. What is the proper way to do that? What is the proper way to do that? Some guy cuts you off and immediately just ram him off the road? No, that's not a good thing, because that, my friends, is illegal, and that will get you in a lot of trouble. However, if some guy cuts you off on the freeway, you're getting owned in the video game, things just don't turn out like you want, some big disappointment happens, and you're just ready to get angry, okay? Let me give you guys a couple examples of things that I like to do. Okay, so here's one of my favorite things to do, to be honest. Okay, and this is gonna be probably very embarrassing because I'm actually going to demonstrate these things for you. Okay, so I watched this guy by the name of Elliot Hulse. I believe that's the way you say his name, but he's this really just like ripped bodybuilder guy, but he's also interested in psychology. He's like blending bodybuilding with psychology, right? He's got the brains and the brawn going on, which I think is really cool. And he's a really awesome guy. And I think one thing that he brings up that's really important is he says that a lot of tension and a lot of like repressed feelings tend to like lock themselves away in your facial muscles, in your muscles, in your body, and everything. And a good way to release these things is to, you know how someone like massages your back, right? You're like, oh, that feels so good. Like, oh, can I pay you to do that? And then they tell you the price. You're like, oh, no, never mind. I'm not paying you. You know, keep going. You know? And that's basically what he says. There's so much tension that is locked up within your facial muscles. Like, you see people that are really stressed. Like, how are you when you're stressed? You're like this. Like, your eyebrows are tensed up. You're just like, like that, right? Everything's just like scrunched in. So what you want to do is you want to begin to, first of all, I really think that taking good care of your body is a really good way to, you know, feel good about yourself and to release emotions, right? Because you could be angry, you just want to do something, right? Like working out can be a great way of releasing that energy in a very positive way, because then that gives you, you know, a better looking body, a hot body. But anyway, let's focus specifically on the face. Here's something that I really like to do. Whenever I just feel like super angry or super just like disappointed in something, I will literally just take my hands, and I'll open my jaw, right? This is going to look really weird to you guys because nobody makes this face ever. But you just open your jaw as high as you, or as wide as you can, like this. And then you push, right? You push right here. And then if nobody's home, I like to scream. I literally like to scream as loud as I can. I'll just be like, ah! Right? And just like tense your entire body. Tense your entire body as you scream as loud as you can. I even do this thing. I'll literally be like screaming, right? And I'll like bend over. I don't know. I almost feel like I'm going Super Saiyan. I'm like, except I don't do it for 5 hours on end before something actually happens. But yeah, we might call that the Super Saiyan technique. Like, it just really feels good to like open your jaw and push on those muscles. I don't know what it is, but something about that just feels really good. So that's something that's really nice. And again, only scream if nobody's in your house, because otherwise you're going to freak some people out. Unless people just know what you're doing. Be like, hey guys, I'm really angry, so if you hear me screaming, that's basically, I'm just releasing my energy. But people usually don't get it, because a lot of people, normal people don't do that. Normal people don't do that. Don't expect people to understand you releasing your energy like that. Okay, another one that's a little more silent. I've actually found that, you know, the screaming aspect of it, you don't actually have to yell very loud. You can literally just like, I don't know, just like, you can pretend like you're screaming and it works. Or you can scream into a pillow. But, okay, so next technique that I really like to do. I'll take a shirt like this, you know, just regular shirt, and then I'll twist it as hard as I can. I'll just be like that, and just like twist it as hard as you can. I think the technique here is I really think that somebody really put it really well. I forgot who it was, but they basically described us as expressive creatures, like, or like we're creatures of charging up and then letting go. right? We're not just a constant. Like, humans are not constant. Our moods are always, they're charging up, and then they release them, right? Kind of like that pattern of emotions I've talked about before. You're up and you're up and you're up. This is where I was yesterday. And then you just kind of like release it. You kind of go down to this little slump, right? But oftentimes people think there's a problem with being down. And then they kind of like wallow in it. They give power to that being down moment, and then they become depressed because they think that there's something wrong. Well, really, it's just a pattern. And once you realize that, then you just begin your rise back up again. And someday it can literally be like one day this and the next day this, or you can be up here for a few months, then you might be down for a few months. But those are just patterns, okay? So, and what I've noticed is when I'm feeling really angry. Oh, here's my favorite one, by the way. Here's my favorite one. Okay, so what I really like to do is, sometimes when you get angry, you just want to throw something, right? You just want to throw something. So I just take, I just put those pillows right there. They're on my thing. I take a pillow, and just chuck it as hard as I can into the oven. Take this and chuck it as hard as I can, right? Or I'll throw a pillow at the wall, And what's really funny is like, sometimes you just want to take like your monitor, you want to take your monitor and chuck it out the window. You want to do something like really destructive, you know what I mean? And it's like, it's not the fact that you really need to destroy something of importance, I believe. I think it's just, you have this urge that's within you. And here's the funny thing about this, is that when you throw this pillow, like you are putting everything you can into it. Like you are throwing this pillow like it is, I don't know, like you're throwing this like it's a freaking a rabid chihuahua like biting on your arm. You're just chucking that thing as hard as you can. And the funny thing is that I realized is that as soon as I do that, like my mind very quickly, there's two things that happen. A, I'm releasing that energy. I'm getting rid of that angry energy. I'm throwing it out, throwing the pillow. The other thing that happens is when that pillow hits the other pillows, it doesn't make any sound. It doesn't do it. There's no big crash. There's no dramatic thing, right? I didn't just blow up, the friggin' like something of worth, something that really is, worth something. I just chuck the pillow at a bunch of other pillows and it just makes a little, right? And when that happens, I find it really funny. I really find it funny. And and it immediately just like kicks me out of it. I just get really super angry. And then I just like release it, right? Because that energy is gone. You can't stay angry forever. You just can't do that. You can't sit and be like, the only way you can stay angry forever is when you're holding it in. And that discomfort is you wanting to express it. And I guarantee you guys, if you try these things out, figure out things that will work for you. You can chuck a pillow, you can do the scream technique, or you can twist a shirt. But the key is you must express those emotions in a way that is not harmful to you or other people. Because as soon as you do that, that feeling will now be gone. You'll probably still be a little bit irked or whatever, but it's not going to come out later in a way that will be very destructive or at a very inappropriate time. Because let me tell you, that's much more immature. It's much less mature, and it makes you look dumb. It really makes you look dumb when you overreact to a crazy situation or to a small little situation, or you let little things bother you, or you do this little passive-aggressive thing to people that you care about or to your friends. And all that stuff stems from you not expressing some sort of negative energy. All right. But I hope that helps. Here, I'll do this one more time. I'm really angry right now. Okay. So now you know how to do that. Get yourself some pillows. Now you know what those pillows are there for. Alright guys, so let me talk to you guys. Okay, so now we've got all that negative stuff out of the way. Let's talk about being happy. Let's talk about yesterday, because yesterday I was super happy. I felt like I was on cloud 9. I was like, nothing in the world could get me down right now, because the new page of Emma just came out. And here's the other thing. I was working on my 26-34 rule yesterday. I was working 26 minutes and then resting 34. Reading books, reading my book, following my plan, doing the things I say I know I should be doing. And guess what? I felt freaking amazing. And as soon as I sit down and I start playing some, Last of Us or video games and everything, I'm sitting there and I'm playing. I'm like, yeah, okay, this is cool. But immediately, it wasn't as interesting to me as doing what I knew I was supposed to, is a really interesting change. So but I don't know what was going on yesterday. I mean, it was the new year. It was the new year. The comic was getting done. You freaking awesome people are pledging on the Patreon. I don't know what it was. I just got this feeling of. That I just knew. I just knew that I was doing what I was supposed to be doing. There's sometimes where I'm on the show. Oh, also yesterday I just did a good show. Like there's days where I get off the show, I'm like, yeah, that one was okay. But there's other days when I finish the show, I was like, that was a good show. That was such a good show. And I'll go back, I'll watch it later. I'm like, ooh, that wasn't as good as I remember. And the ones that I thought were bad, I'll go back, oh, that was actually pretty dang good, you know. But yeah, I just felt like I was on something. I felt like I was following my instinct. I was following my hunches. I was just enjoying life. It really felt like that. And even without you know the business having been successful already, even without millions of people reading the comic, that stuff doesn't necessarily matter, right? It's like it can happen. It may happen. That would be really cool if it does happen. But when that does happen, I'll make up my mind to be as happy as I will then, the same way as I can do it now. You know, it's just like, it's so hard to explain. You know, it's like you're just as happy as you make up your mind to be in the moment. Because I guarantee you, like if you had all the things that you live with every day that you might be sick of taken away from you, if you had your house and your bed and your food, all those things taken away from you for just a couple weeks, and then you came back to it. This is something that I always kind of tell myself. Like if I had my car taken away from me, you know, just gone, or I lived in the desert riding camels, right? And I had the dream of working in the industry, being a comic book artist and a video game concept artist, you know, and then all of a sudden I travel to the United States, and then I work my way up from selling jeans at the mall to finally be able to buy a car, right? How grateful would I be for that car at that point? And it's all just it's a matter of perspective. The same way that you can be grateful for the things that you have right now, other people were born with. Other people were born with, and they don't have the same appreciation for it because they didn't work for it. They didn't work for it, and they don't know what life is without it. Okay? So I think it's good to be grateful for what you have, but also at the same time, just realize that the journey is where the joy is. The enjoyment is getting there. The enjoyment is taking the trip. You know, you take the road trip with your friends, half the fun is just being in the car, hanging out with them, right? And, you know, it's like, yeah, it's a tough thing to kind of put into words, but yeah, I just really feel like I'm doing what I said I was going to do. I mean, the show has already become way more than I ever could have expected it to be. You know, back when I started it, like, I was just doing this for fun. I just wanted to do some freaking little time-lapse art things. And man, it's so cool to realize the more that I put the emphasis on, look at these people's awesome art, right, on the Facebook. I'm going to take that, I'm going to feature them, and I'm going to draw their characters. As soon as I do that, Whatever Wednesday used to be, you know, it was just like Whatever Wednesday, but now it has something to it. It has meaning to it. It has value to it. And so many people are watching the Whatever Wednesdays just because I'm drawing pictures of your guys' characters. Like, I think that's so cool. So, you know, the biggest reoccurring thing that I notice with improving the show and all that stuff is, I think I just got to focus on, what do I have to give to you guys? What more value can I bring to you guys? All that good stuff. Okay, but anyway, we don't want to get too much into that. We're talking about emotions. I don't even know what we're talking about today, because like I said, today's just been kind of weird. Today's been really weird. And we've been going for about 25 minutes, so as I continue to blab, please cast your questions over the castle walls. And then we're going to call it good. Oh, man. Yeah, until then. Oh, yeah, I'm like feeling really tired right now just from chugging those pillows. That's the other reason why I like expressing myself, because it just feels so good. Once you just get that out, you can't be angry for that long. Like I've noticed if I just really just chuck pillows and twist shirts and scream really loud, I can only do that for like maybe 30 seconds tops. And I'm just like winning. I'm like, whoa, oh, oh man, that was good, right? It's just it's all gone. And then immediately it's just like I can't stay mad. I'm just like, all right, well, what's up next? What's the next thing on, the agenda? Oh man. But yeah, it's crazy. Today's a little bit more of an informal thing for sure. I'm just kind of talking to you guys more as myself. I don't really have a big lesson prepared, but yeah, I just want to let you guys know that I'm focusing more from here on out on the things that I'm good at, the things that I have to bring to the table, the things that I know that I'm good at, and I'm just gonna focus on that. If it's just bringing value to the show, if it's just making the comic, all this stuff about market research and trying to spread the word about the comic and do all this stuff, you guys are in charge of that. You guys can do that if you want to. Get more people to pledge on the Patreon. It's funny. Whenever I need it, whenever I'm just like focusing on it, it never happens. But as soon as I have the idea of, oh hey, pay what you want for these prints. I'm gonna give these prints to you guys when you pledge on Patreon. Immediately it's like then it happens, and I just go back to working on the comic. I'm just focusing on the things that I feel it's just natural. It's just natural. So yeah, I want you guys to just focus on that. Focus on the way that you can apply that to yourselves is. If you ever feel like you're just not enjoying a part of your life, something that you have to do, whether it's a job or, I don't know, just anything, whether it's a job or whether it's friends that you have, when you're surrounded by those people, when you're surrounded by those things, if you don't feel good, I really want to challenge you to ask yourself, what is this doing to me? What is this experience doing to me? What are these friends, what are these people doing to me? How are they affecting my psychology? How are they affecting my mentality? How are they affecting my life? Because like they say, who you surround yourself with is who you become. So if you want to become a great artist, you got to get around a lot of great artists, which luckily throughout my life, I have always been surrounded by amazing artists, and I continue to be so. But yeah, if you want to pursue a dream, you got to find people that are pursuing their own dreams or who can believe in yours. Because people that play it safe, people that don't believe in themselves, people that have no confidence, they are not going to help you. And they will, with the best of intentions, try to stop you. They'll try to stop you from making anything of yourself. Not because they don't like you, not because they hate you, but because they don't want to lose you. They want to keep you right where they are, or right where you are, because they don't want to lose you. All right, a couple questions and then we're done. Oh man. Onyx, it appears that I cheered up Onyx, my good friend. That's the least I can do. All right, I'm not seeing many things ending with question marks. Oh, Onyx is asking, if you throw yourself off your drawing schedule, how do you hop back onto it? Do you start again tomorrow, or do you get on it right away? Depends. So my schedule is I work for 26 minutes and then I rest for 34. If I get off of that, usually it's because I'm like, oh hey, time for a break, let's go play some video games. 34 minutes goes off on the timer, I'm like, but I'm in the middle of this level. Or I'm like, this guy just owned me and I'm going to get back at him, right? And you gotta, like, the best thing to do, as I've said before, is avoid those things altogether. Avoid video games. Avoid watching TV. Avoid things that when that timer goes off, you'll say, oh, but it's almost done. It's almost done. Avoid those things that seem to have a little bit more control over you. And try to do things like working out, reading a book, things that you can easily just be like, oh, okay. And then you just finish the page. All right, let's get back to work. Or you can literally do nothing. Sometimes I love to do this, actually. I'll have motivational talks running that I like to listen to while I'm working. And when it's time to rest, I'll literally just let the talk keep going. And I'll just kick back like this, right? I'll just sit back like this. I'll have the timer right there. Sometimes I might fall asleep. Sometimes I'll take a little nap or something. But then when I wake up, I'm like, I'm good to go, I really think, like, even though I've had so much good experience with working like that, I still continue to push it away. It's so natural to be able to push it away because, oh, I don't have the time to do that. I don't have the time to mess around with that, and it always affects me. if I push myself past what I'm doing. My wrist hurts, I get depressed, I get angry, I'm not thinking straight, the piece doesn't come out right. That's the thing, is when I was working on the background for the latest Emma page, I was so concerned about that because it was just in the grayscale stage. And I was like, how the heck am I going to be able to do this? Let me see. Can I actually pull that up? Where is it? Yeah, hang on. Okay, so yeah, I was like, how am I going to get this thing done? I have no idea how, because it was the release day, and I should have been really, like stressed out, But I just kind of kept my cool, and I was like, no, you know what? I'm going to stick to the plan. I'm going to stick to the plan. And I just saw it. Oh, and another really good thing is that I would just get these ideas, like the instincts, the hunches. And instead of just like, if I was on break, and usually this is when it happens, I'm on break, and I get the ideas. I get the ideas of how to do this stuff. And then I was like, okay, here's how I can do it. Just do a gradient map of blues, right? And then add in the color, add in the lights, add in these things. But just overall just make it blue because it's a night shot and it's actually going to be very easy. So I just wrote down blue gradient map, add in the colors, paint in the colors afterwards. And just keep it simple. And then I just had those thoughts and I was like, you know what? I'm going to be able to knock this out in an hour. I'm going to be able to knock this out in an hour from grayscale and just like, a little bit of stuff here and there. I think I actually I colored this background from its grayscale state in probably about an hour and a half. It went really fast. And it all happened because I was relaxing. I just focused on just doing what I said I was going to do. And lo and behold, it worked. Lo and behold, it worked. I didn't make the whole background in an hour and a half. Don't think that. That would be crazy. All right. XBTex is saying, if I want to be surrounded by sexy women, does that mean I must become a sexy woman? Possibly. I should get right on that. I like that. Ren Pagoda is asking what the other names of the days are. We have Emma Monday, and today is Thoughtful Thursday. Last question. Oh, XB Text is saying I should give out homework on the Facebook page. Ah, that'd be kind of cool. I like that. Oh, FX. Yeah, FX Bandit said that. I do like that. I'm just trying to. Yeah, that's definitely a good. That's a good suggestion. I just got to figure out. It's all about what amount of time can I put in, what's the value that we're gonna get out of it. So we might try something like that. I might challenge you guys to an art assignment. That'd be pretty cool. But well, out of the way, we're going to go ahead and end today's show, 145, the KNKL show. Thank you guys for joining me today. I hope that my energy was still somewhat acceptable for you guys. Today is a little bit more informal. I hope that this just lets you guys know that you're not always going to be on it. You're not always going to be super happy. You're not always going to be perfect. But very quickly, you can get back to that by realizing that it's normal to be in a down spot. And if you're down because you're angry, express that anger in a way that doesn't endanger you, someone else, or your small animal pet. Just get those things out. Get those things out. And there's all kinds of easy ways. And I guarantee you, if you guys do the things that I showed you today, if you chuck some pillows at the wall, you will feel absolutely amazing. You'll feel absolutely amazing. And then you'll wonder why you ever just let those feelings like control you. You'll wonder why you just kept those in the whole day. You'll wonder why you just stayed angry for weeks on end and you snap at people that didn't deserve it. And that will be a thing of the past. I guarantee you that. All right, guys. So you guys take care of yourselves. Have a great weekend. I'll see you on Monday. Until then, you guys take care. See ya.